everybody thinks when you start a brand, you're going to push that website live and it's going to start selling like hotcakes. Believe me, it's not.
Hello and welcome to the Kelly Lumber Podcast. I'm your host, business mentor, personal brand and style expert, who is on a personal mission to inspire a minimum of 5 people daily to take action, to do something different and show up as the best person they aspire to be. So if you're one of my 5 a day, yay, drop me a review, come and say hi on Instagram because I would love to meet you. So in today's episode, I had a chat with fellow Scot, Lyndsay Doran, who, all I can say was I was blown away by her sort of can-do attitude, and we had so much in common. Pre-podcast chat, we found out that we both started our career in Dubai as cabin crew, and we chatted about what life was like growing up in Scotland and all things fitness, which of course we both love. The immense success that she has had in less than a year honestly shows that this businesswoman knows what she is doing. And the brand has grown to not only being really prominent in the UAE, which is where it was born, but internationally too. So I'm a big fan. You will see from my IG page that I'm often in an El Couture workout set. So I really hope that you're inspired by our morning chat. Enjoy! Welcome to Brand You Podcast. It's great to have you here. I was just going to start by saying thank you so much for sending me all the fabulous latest collection that you have. I was actually doing a shoot yesterday and I just love the fact that your collection doesn't give me muffin tops.
Amazing. No, I love to hear that. I think that's one of the feedback that we've had a lot, actually. The fit of the leggings and the bras. It's been really good feedback. So they're fitting all body shapes. So that's amazing. No problem.
Love it. So let's do a little bit of a rewind. I want to know more. A fellow Scot, which I just found out just before we went live here. So I didn't know that. We're from across the water. So originally, probably about an hour's drive away, I think. But it's so nice to meet those where you're from. So we're both based in Dubai. Just give us a bit of a backstory. How did this happen? And yeah, tell us your journey.
Yeah, so I'm from Dundee in Scotland. So I came to Dubai when I was only 21. So it's been actually 10 years in April I've been here, which is a bit scary. So yeah, I joined as Emirates crew. So I was Emirates crew for 5.5 years.
We have a lot more in common. I was also cabin crew.
Wow.
Yeah, and I arrived when I was 22.
22? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So sorry, continue.
So I got the job in Emirates. I did like flying, but I wanted to get into private flying. So that's why I really tried to progress quickly. I actually had a friend already in Emirates who had left Emirates and gone into private flying. So she told me, look, I can get you a job. You just have to get up the different classes as quickly as possible. So it was about year 3 and I got into first class by that point, which was really hard at that time because, I know it's different now, but then you had to go through interviews and stuff. So I was so happy. And there's not actually a lot of British girls in first class as well. And at that time, I was only about 24. So I was very young to be up there. And then I thought after 5 years, I thought I'm going to resign and apply for this private flying job. And then I ended up getting married. My husband said to me, look, I don't want you to fly anymore. Do something on ground. So just as I was leaving Emirates, we got married a couple of months later, and he said to me, we were always going on beach holidays. And he said, look, let's go and do something completely different. We wanted to go snowboarding. I said, oh no, I'll end up breaking my ankle or something, knowing me. I said, I don't want to do that. He said, what about a fitness holiday? He was crazy into fitness, and I just thought, absolutely not. I want to go somewhere on a beach. So he talked me into it, and we ended up going on 4 weeks fitness camp in Thailand. At the start, I absolutely hated it. I just was crying. I just thought, oh my God, I hate this fitness. What is this?
It wasn't your honeymoon, was it?
My honeymoon.
No way.
Girls like at the classes that I was at, and I was talking to them. I was like, yeah, this is my honeymoon. And they were like, what? Why would you come here for honeymoon? I'm like, I don't know. I got talked into this. Then after a week of being there, I ended up meeting a group of American girls that were actually like hostesses in the beach clubs in Vegas and stuff. And I'd been there the year before, so I got friendly with them. And I feel like they inspired me to be so much more healthy. They were all working in beach clubs, but none of them really drank. They were all in amazing shape. I was just amazed by how these girls were so athletic. So I think it was meeting them that really kind of pushed me into that. Then I stayed there for 4 weeks. By the time I left, I felt like, okay, I feel like I'm really getting into this now. But I came back to Dubai. Everybody said, oh, there's no way you're gonna, join a gym. So I thought I'm just gonna do it. So I joined a gym. I got a personal trainer straight away from the start. And it was from then that I just felt like being in a proper, the gyms in Dubai are amazing, being in a proper gym, the energy in there, seeing everybody, working out, looking after themselves. I just thought I really want to do this as well. So that was 5 years ago now. And yeah, that was it. That was me addicted to the gym,
And fitness was never really your journey before you go on this random, if I can say that, honeymoon, because most people would be expecting 2 weeks in the Maldives or whatever. You go on this fitness camp and it becomes not fitness, but I guess it was a sort of a fitness retreat. And it becomes that sort of first step to, inspiring you to join the gym and discover, I guess, what fitness wear is all about.
Exactly. So by the time I'd obviously come back to Dubai, I could see the girls in the gym, they're all wearing, the usual brands that you see everybody in. And I just thought, oh, wow, I need new gym outfits. I was spending so much money all the time. I was living in the gym because at that point I wasn't working. I thought I'm going to take like a year's gap and just find out what I want to do. I still want to go into private flying. I can go into private flying. I didn't think I would do anything to do with, fitness or anything like that. I was still new to the gym. So yeah, I was just buying clothes all the time, constantly. And about 6 months in, I was just having a chat with my husband and I said, I just feel like I want to do something to do with fitness. I'm bored now. I haven't worked in 6 months. This is not normal. I need to go and do something, but I just don't know what I want to do. I said, but I'd really like to do something, to do with fitness. And he was like, well, all the money you spend on activewear, you'd be better just bringing out your own clothes, just kind of like a joke. And I thought, actually, maybe I could do that. So that night I started researching. I spent months researching YouTube, just Google how to find factories, how to start a business. I was just watching everybody's, talks about how to start, how to find the factories, how to find the materials. So then I booked a flight to China to go on my own. And that was it. I think it was kind of like something that I thought is going to be a little bit of a side job, and I would get, maybe something in an office or a private flying job. But then when I actually went to China and I met, I must have set up like 12 meetings with factories. When I went to the first factory, I just thought, oh, wow, a huge factory with over 1,000 workers there, a huge showroom. I just thought, oh, wow, no, this is where people who are starting brands come to. This wasn't just a cheap factory in China that I'd chosen to come for my first meeting. So it was from then when I sat down and I brought my designs. I got a girl to sketch she just sketches on the side. She's a designer. Paid her some money. She sketched me what I had in my head. And I took those designs. And when they told me, oh, this is the minimum orders, it was in the thousands. And I thought, what? How am I going to customize, activewear, thousands of pieces where I don't even have a brand? This is just an idea in my head. So that was the start when I was like, right, okay, I don't think you can really do this. If you want to customize product, you have to put in those big orders. You have to buy your fabric up front. So I think that was a big eye opener for me. And that's when I kind of thought, okay, do I want to do this just like an Instagram small side hustle, buy product that's already on the market, put a logo on it? I thought, no, I want to be different. I have to make this, because the reason why I wanted to do it was because there were certain things about, a legging. I would love the fabric, but they would push on my glutes and make your glutes like a pancake. Things like that. Or the waistband would be too high, or the leggings would be like the wrong length. So it was just all small details that I just thought, this is kind of something that I feel is missing. So after I came back from China, I just said to my husband, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna put in these orders. They've got my designs. Obviously it's a huge risk. It was basically all of my savings. And I just thought, I'm just gonna go for it. I've got a good feeling about it. And I feel like by that time by the time it launched and I'd got my final samples, I just knew I had a good feeling. I just thought, I feel like this is really going to pay off. I know it wasn't going to be, quick, and I know it takes time, but I just thought the fit and the fabric, I just thought, that's what I have experience in. I just thought, I'm going to go for it. So that's when it kind of all started. And then it's just been amazing since then, really.
Okay, so we'll develop a little on from that. So I just want to rewind a little bit, because so many people have that sort of throwaway comment, and not that it was a throwaway comment necessarily, but when a partner or a friend goes, do you know what, you should turn that into a business, and people go, yeah, right, and then they do nothing with it. So talk me through that moment, because then there's like loads of self-doubt. Well, can I really do it, or how will I really do it? So from that seed planting, like, what was it that made you go, do you know what, I'm going to make that reality? Was it that you were ready to do a business, or was it like, do you know what, I can do this? Or was it the skills that you'd learned going, do you know what, I'm all in? Like, what do you think it was that actually made that?
I think it's because I'm crazy driven. I've always been like this. I always want to be the best. So even when I got my job in Emirates, I thought, I'm not going to be here, just living the Dubai life all the time. I knew. I had a friend that had been crew as well. She'd got all the way to first class, resigned, and got a private flying job, making amazing money, flying all over the world in a private jet. It was completely different to Emirates. So I think from then, that's when I was like, right, I have to get to that cabin, leave, and then go on to a better job. And it was the same with El Couture as well. I feel like, when I had that conversation with my husband about, oh, do you think you could do it? I thought, probably not. I've got no business experience whatsoever. I've been crew for the last 5.5 years. What it's like when you're crew. I feel like it takes a slice of your brain away with all being at that altitude all the time. But I just thought, I'm so driven that I feel like I could push through it. I didn't really have much guidance, and I knew that I didn't have friends that had businesses. I didn't have really anybody to ask. I was just literally just using things like YouTube and Google just to watch other brand owners give advice. So that was it. I feel like I was so driven. I just thought once you start something like this, I'm not the kind of person to just, say, oh, it's not working, I have to just close it down. You just have to push through it. So I feel like the fact that I'm really driven really helped.
And it's actually just so nice. I speak to so many crew, and one thing that I love and that I think we have in common is that you said that you actually loved being cabin crew. And I did as well. I loved when I first started, it was a great opportunity to travel the world. And a question that I do get a lot from crew actually is, but I only have skills in hospitality, for example. I'm only good in customer service. And you've just proved, and I've proved that, you can actually go on and start a business and do something that you really want to do. And I think it's great that you used resources that are already out there that are completely free. Like, there's no excuses.
Yeah.
If someone's sitting there, they've got an idea, if you really want to do it, there's nothing stopping you except for you.
Exactly. Just do it. I get asked that question quite a lot, and I'm like, you just have to do it. If you're that kind of person that, can follow through and stick by your word, then just go for it.
Okay, so let's fast forward. So we've got this order coming in. Did you have a name for it then? Did you have this vision, or no?
No, I remember even when I first got my stock. I remember when the stock arrived in Dubai, because I knew I had to get an office space because I knew how much stock was coming. So it was kind of like, right, I need to get an office as well, because there is no way I could store this in my house. There was thousands and thousands of units coming. And I just thought, right, I need to get an office. So obviously I got an office. And when I saw it, that's when I just thought, oh, wow, this is a lot. So obviously I probably did a lot of the things, when I started back then, I was doing things backwards, starting trade license before I even had a website, just small things like that, that I could have saved money on. But of course, I didn't have any guidance. So I just had to go by what I thought was the right order to do it. Obviously, I learned so much now. So yeah, I mean, that was the starting point of seeing all the stock. And I just thought, oh, wow, this is a lot. This better pay off.
So you have all the stock, and then you find someone to build, a website. You then, I assume, hire models and do a photo shoot. So let's talk about then. So you've got this idea, you've got all this stock. How did you sell it?
Oh, well, I mean, the models weren't paid models. They were my friends from the gym. So, I mean, I didn't use paid models until maybe last year. I was just using my friends because, the budget that I did have, I was using it to go into like digital marketing and things. So it wasn't going into paying models back then. And selling the stock, I mean, I think and I've seen a lot of other brand owners talk about this as well, no matter if they are, even celebrities that start brands, everybody thinks when you start a brand, you're going to push that website live and it's going to start selling like hotcakes.
I was there as well.
No, believe me, it's not. And it's so funny now when I actually talk about it. Because I remember I was sitting in my office. So it was basically just me for like quite a while. And one of my friends had come over and I said, right, okay, so they're ready to go live with the website. Let's push it live now. So I clicked the button. I thought, okay, there's going to be sales coming in. No, not one sale. Not one sale for about 5 days until one of my friends bought something. And it was such a slow starter. And I remember sitting in the office and I used to just go because my old house was really close to where our offices are in Business Bay. And I just used to go in there and like potter around, make myself a cup of tea, just think, okay, I've got one order today. This is great. I've got thousands of units of stock, and I've even seen other people who are like celebrities that have started brands and I've watched their interviews and it's actually been the same for them as well. I didn't actually realize that. So it doesn't matter if you're known or you're not known. I feel like when you start a brand, it's so hard at the beginning. You're looking at all your stock and you're thinking, wow, how am I going to sell this? This is not working, but yeah, I just had to stick at it. And obviously it does take a while. We're nearly in April, the business will be turning 2. So I mean, it takes a while for you just to
like that's still not like in an industry which on the outset is quite competitive.
Yeah.
So what did you do that changed, or how did you kind of build the momentum there?
I think a big game changer for me was building the team. The team behind Elle Couture, I actually call them the dream team because they really worked with me. They knew that when each of them come on board, they got what my vision was. They knew what I wanted it to be. But obviously, I don't have the experience for that. That's why I hired this amazing team that we have so far. And since that team has come on board, it's been nearly a year. Under a year only. So I was on my own for a very long time when I started. Then I hired 2 girls. One was just packing the orders and another girl was doing like admin work. So it was very, even they didn't have the skills like what the team have now. I didn't have the budget back then. I had to make the money to be able to afford to have that experienced team. So I think that was really when Elle Couture really elevated, because kind of what really pushed Elle Couture with the exposure side was when we went into lockdown. So lockdown.
You were a year in business then when I guess lockdown happened.
Yeah. But obviously it was still very quiet. I did a couple of expos in Dubai to get exposure. That was really great. But it was just kind of, getting to that point where it was like, that was your making point. So that was in lockdown. So obviously in lockdown, I was I only had 1 staff working for me at that point, just me and one other girl. And we were doing 60 orders a day, which for like just 2 people, it was crazy. So it kind of just overnight, it just went mad. So yeah, that was
ads.
Yeah, we were doing marketing ads, yeah, but do you know what's really where it's so strong for us is Instagram. Instagram was just, and obviously I gifted, influencers and stuff like that. But that helped. But I just think it was from, being in lockdown, more people being on their phones, everybody going into fitness all of a sudden, and they want, a nice shorts, nice leggings to work out in the house. So, and I feel like there's not that many really, really feminine activewear brands, especially regionally. There's nothing with like a booty scrunch or a hot pink short. So everybody's in their house and they're thinking, right, okay, I want new activewear to work out while I do this home workout. So that was really the point where I opened my laptop and my emails were just coming in crazy. I just thought, what's happened? So that was really the point where it really turned a corner for Elle Couture. And obviously it was just me and another girl. Then obviously we went into lockdown in Dubai, so she had to work from home. So I was running it completely by myself. I was in the office for some days, like 16 hours, up and down Sheikh Zayed Road. When we were in lockdown, there was no cars on the road. So that was remember when you needed the permit to leave the house. So yeah, I was up in my office every day, packing orders, counting stock. It was a crazy time. Replying to customer emails, answered the phone because the phone was going crazy. It was really mad.
And it's so good to hear that, out of such a challenging time, that there are businesses that have actually been able to grow. And we're so many haven't. But just a little kind of talking that we were chatting just before we went live about feeling good in the gym. And I had said, bizarrely, as a stylist for many years, gym wear was never something that I invested in because I was like, what's the point? You get sweaty. Now, this was like 5 or 6 years ago. And then over the past couple of years, I love what I do when I work out, but wearing great fitting clothes honestly makes me work out better.
Yeah, it for sure does. 100%. If you've got like a really good outfit that you feel good in, it gives you more energy to train.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to put that in. So if there's anyone that's listening that had the same mentality as I did a number of years ago, it's like, no, it's definitely worth investing in it. So we've talked about like the amazing highs and what is a really short journey. What is there a mistake or a couple of mistakes that, you can share and go, God, I'm not going to do that? Because I always say we don't live long enough to make all the mistakes ourselves. So if we can learn from someone else who's done it, we can be like, maybe I won't make that one. Is there one that you're like, shouldn't have done that? Or it doesn't matter if you've done it because you've learned from it. So something good happened out of it.
I mean, I've done loads of things on the business side, like using my budget that I had, my savings, and I've put it on the wrong things. Building websites with the wrong people, having to cost a lot of money and having to close that website down. That would, I've worked with people who they weren't the right people for the brand. So I feel like those are things that I regret because it obviously wasted my budget that I had. But other than that, I don't really regret anything. I feel like just in business, you have to learn, isn't it? It's not like I've had a brand before this and if I was to open up a sister brand now, I would do it so much better because I've had all the experience now. But I can't even regret it because it's taught me so much.
So you talk about your dream team before, and you were saying there, about investing in the right people. So what do you look for then?
Well, obviously experience in whatever the job role is, because the way that I want the brand to become, I want it to be better and better and better. Having that person to come in who has that experience, that's the first thing I'm looking for. I don't really want to bring anybody in that I really need to, in a higher level, that I need to try and teach because I'm not sure how to do that job role either. So that experience, and then someone who really understands the vision I have for Elle Couture, that's really important. I feel like everybody that works there now, they understand what I'm like. They know that I'm really particular about the smallest things. packaging, design, everything. That's kind of something that I'm really particular about. So if they get that, and then the final thing would just be, that they fit in with the current team. The personality has to fit in. Everybody that works there now, we have a really good bond. Everybody's really bubbly, really kind. So I think those three qualities, they would fit in.
How many's in your team now?
Over 10 now.
Congratulations, and growing.
Yeah, and we'll be hiring another 5 soon, because obviously we've got our new boutique opening, so we'll be hiring more staff. So
what's the boutique opening?
Hopefully April, May time. Obviously we've got Ramadan coming up in Dubai, so we'll do like an official opening after Ramadan. Yeah. So that's really exciting. It's in Al Wasl.
Okay. On Al Wasl Road, the one that's on the corner. Am I right?
Yeah. Do you know where Tasha's Cafe is?
What, further down towards Flagpost? That Al Wasl, or am I thinking of somewhere else?
You know where the Burj Al Arab is?
Yes. Oh, yes, yeah.
So you've got like Tasha's Cafe there, you've got salons, you've got brows. So it's all on the same strip.
I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, it's a great area. I'm always in that area, either drinking coffee at Tasha's or I'm at brows doing lashes or something. So for me, it's a dream being there.
You've talked about this vision. Can you elaborate a little bit more as to what that looks like?
I mean, the vision for me is to just, have like a community of women worldwide, not just regionally, worldwide, and, empowering each other, giving each other like tips and fitness, about our activewear. I want to just really build a strong community of women. And that's the vision for the future. I just want to grow in that community. We obviously have our LC girls at the minute, but I want this to be, global, domination. That's my vision. Big vision.
I'm very, very sure it will be. I have so loved hearing your journey, hearing the steps that take, and just how that one comment there that you had with your husband has resulted in this. And it's like you say, it's much more than just creating a collection of really nice clothing for women in the gym. It's about creating that community and that long-term vision that you want to do. So will there be a menswear, or are you sticking with just women's wear?
It'll only be women's wear.
Okay.
I can say that 100%.
Okay.
People ask me all the time.
Yeah.
Like, menswear coming out? I say absolutely never. I'm sorry, guys. But it's a women's only brand. That's not my thing either. Because I'm obviously really involved in the design. It's not my thing to do menswear, and it doesn't interest me. I actually, about a year and a half ago, on another business trip that I did to China, I went to inquire about menswear, and I had a chat with a guy back here in Dubai, and he was one that put me off it. He said, "Don't do it. What you've got, just your small little community of women, you're going to grow it." And it was just a small conversation. I just thought, actually, there isn't any just female brands in the region. So that's why I actually thought, no, I'm going to concentrate and build on that. It's something that I know and build on what I know. So it's forever going to be women's wear.
Good stuff. Is the UAE your biggest market?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the beginning it was UK, which was because everybody in the UK thought that we were a UK-based brand.
Yeah.
So the UK was so busy, and then in lockdown, that's when UAE really went crazy. Mm-hmm. And then, UAE's a really big market for us now. It's a big market now, which is amazing because obviously I live here. So I want to be in the mall and be in the gym and a cafe and see someone wear my brand. So that's really nice.
And your campaign you did in the desert here, the one I see it comes up on Facebook ads and on Instagram, and I'm like, I have that outfit or something. It was a really nice campaign. So we'll kind of finish on that. Was that something that you wanted to do, or what was the sort of story behind that?
Yeah, so the story behind that was when I was just alone at El Couture, Obviously I had my one staff, she was working from home. I was in the office all the time. And I really wanted to do prints. I love printed activewear. But I have this core fabric that I was using for the last year or so, our skin fabric. And I wanted to print onto the skin fabric. So I was talking with my factories. At the time, I was packing orders, dealing with customers, answer the phone, but all the product and design also came from me. So I'd be sketching, dealing with the factories, putting the orders in, testing the samples, everything. So I was in the office and I was doing the count of the stock. And I just thought, really want to print on this fabric. So when I talked to all the factories that I work with, were like, impossible, can't print on that fabric. It's not been done. So I was like, I really want to use that fabric because I want to make like another version of our current skin fabric. I want it to be called Skin V2, Skin version 2, but with print. So that took such a long time. I was working on it throughout lockdown. At the end, you got my samples and things like that. Then obviously it just come to me when I was in the office. I just thought, this is going to be like black leopard, black camel, khaki. Thought I'm obviously living in Dubai. I wanted to do something in the desert, but I wanted to do something different in the desert as well. So it just come into my head. I just thought, what about having all these women, diverse women in the desert, not doing much, not posing, just standing just as they are, just showing how your shape is when you stand straight up and down, so that just come into my head. So obviously when I brought on my El Couture Dream Team, I'm trying to explain this to everybody in the meeting, and they're kind of like looking at me like, right, like this is just something I can't. They're like, do you have an example? I'm like, no, I don't have an example. This is just something that has been in my head for months now. The products come in 2 months, and I think we need to put this into action. So yeah, it was hard, and but when we were there on the day, I knew we've got it. This is exactly what I had in my head. So it looked amazing. When I saw the video, it gave me shivers.
That vision had become the sort of reality you wanted, because it is just real woman in it's a fabulous location. So we may as well use what's on our doorstep.
Exactly. We're so lucky that we live in Dubai and like we can do all these shoots next to, amazing buildings, amazing locations. So yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lyndsay. I really, really love this and learning more. I love your collection, and I do genuinely mean that I would never wear stuff. It's too hard to wear stuff that doesn't feel good or is not nice on you. So keep up the amazing work, and you'll see me on Instagram soon wearing your pieces.
Yeah, can't wait to see it.
All right, let's see you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for being here and listening to this episode today. Were you inspired? What was your one takeaway that you can put into action? Head over to Instagram, Kelly Lumberg Official. I love to hang out there, so drop me a DM, tell me the best part, or even better, share it with a friend and inspire them too. We are growing weekly and it's all down to you. Thank you so much. Reviewer of the week left this message. Annie, highly recommended listen. Great podcast. Personally, I really resonated with the last one on how to make the best of your relationships personally and professionally. Please leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. It really does make a massive difference. Be inspired and keep following your dreams.